Hey, Steve Fortner, editor of Keyboard Magazine, here with a first look at a piano you can read more about in our August 2013 roundup of digital pianos for home and stage. This is the Kawai ES7, and it really... This is a semi-high-endy kind of instrument. It's about $2,000 street. And it only has a couple of oval, like car stereo oval speakers on either side here. They're behind a low-profile speaker grill, which I think looks a lot better on an instrument this classy than having two big arranger keyboard-style speaker pods on the end. I love the little red backlit buttons. They remind me of the synclavier, actually. The wooden end blocks have a really nice black finish, and this sort of semi-mottled matte black finish on the metal bits also looks really nice. Except for the key surfaces, you will not see, and the buttons, you will not see any plastic on this machine. And this is not even Kawai's top-of-the-line action. It's their... RH2 responsive hammer. Their higher end actions get into wooden keys and longer keys with the fulcrum in a place that's more like a grand piano. This is sort of their basic action, but it still feels really nice. It's really non-fatiguing. It's sort of become a standard on digital pianos that you have piano 1 and piano 2, and piano 2 is where they put the brighter stuff, so you switch over there. You get something that's a little more contemporary sounding. So I also really love the electric pianos on the ES7. On a digital piano that's this oriented towards a pure pianist, you often have electric piano sounds that are kind of an afterthought and kind of tame, and that is definitely not the case here. Your main Rhodes sound really delicate, but stepping through these, a really nice whirly. The effects button puts some tremolo on that. Your obligatory DX7 electric piano. And then you have another Rhodes that's really tiny and almost like a dyno. You have an effect plus a reverb per voice. You can also step through given sound categories sounds by just pressing that category button repeatedly. So we go to the original classic EP. I put a nice phaser on it. The thing I like about this machine is a whole lot of the buttons, if you hold a button down long enough, you get a menu of stuff that lives underneath that button. So you hold down the effects button, for example, and that'll bring up a menu here. You get the effects type. So now I can step through treble and chorus. I'm on the whirly now. I don't know how much you'll hear that here, but you have a ping-ponging auto pan between the speakers. Phaser. Nice. Organs are what you'd expect on a digital piano that's geared towards home and educational use. They're not going to replace a dedicated clone wheel, but that said, I like the basic Dravo organ patch a whole lot. It's got a little bit of grit and some grease to it that you normally don't find. You only really get one clavinet, and it's your... So you get a few strings and choirs. Splits and layers work really easily on the ES7. I'm going to layer 2 sounds. I just hold down the first sound and hit the other category button. And then get my nice piano string layer. And when I'm in a layer, the value buttons become a balance control between the 2 layers. So I can fade the strings back, I can bring them up, or put them about even. The way splits work is that if you hit the split button, then anything else you do while you're holding it affects the lower part of the split. So if I want a piano and a bass, I will select the piano first, boom, hold split, hit the bass button. Over here we have a deceptively simple looking section. The recorder functionality is what you'd expect. It's a MIDI recorder, and it's also an audio recorder. You can select an audio mode and actually select whether you have an MP3 or a 441K WAV file, 16-bit WAV file, that will record basically stereo of everything you're doing to an inserted USB stick, which is you insert from the front over to the right-hand side. So if you hit the rhythm section button, then this row of functionality becomes relevant to what these buttons do. There's actually quite a few accompaniment styles in this machine. There's over 100, and you get count-ins, endings, 2 main variations on each style, one more busy with instrumentation than the other. You've got a menu, a bunch of menus actually, where you can select whether it does simple 1 or 2 fingered chord recognition or full keyboard chord recognition. You can select whether the accompaniment plays drums only, drums and bass only, or full instrumentation. But the styles are actually surprisingly fun, and some are even a little bit contemporary sounding, as I'm going to try to show you right now. End on whatever chord you choose to end on. But you know, I mean, it's got these kind of Nile Rodgers style Waka Chaka guitar, almost as if he were playing with, I don't know, a couple of electronica guys or something. Crazy idea, though. So again, I would recommend this machine for a serious piano teacher who doesn't have room for an acoustic, a serious piano student who does not have the budget or room for an acoustic, because the main mode you'll spend time with this in is the acoustic piano mode and sounds. It is 50 pounds, so taking it on the road is, well, I can remember when 50 pounds used to be like, heck, that's a lightweight digital piano, gimme. But kind of 30 pounds is the new 50 pounds in terms of if you're carrying a keyboard every weekend or a bunch of times during the week. However, if you want something that's mainly going to live in your house that you're occasionally going to take to gigs, you want superb concert grand piano sound, you want superb action, and you want enough fun factor with your non-piano sounds and your rhythms and your recording that it'll keep your kids playing or keep yourself playing if you're a beginner and you need some gratification factor. This has got all of that in a really beautiful, semi-formal looking package. And again, this is the Kawai ES7. Street price is about $2,000. Full review is in August 2013. Thanks.